David Pedersoli Howdah pistol in 45 Colt. Let's see how it shoots. Shoots good. This gun is on loan from some friends of mine. They were kind enough to let me bring it here to the range and shoot it. And I have been shooting it. It's a lot of fun. But if you're familiar with Ithaca auto and burglars, this thing looks pretty much exactly like one. And that's because I think David Pedersoli was smart enough to know there is a real market for these with gun collectors, because Ithaca made these in the 20s and early 30s until the 1934 National Firearms Act changed them from a pistol to a shotgun. And an illegal shotgun that you had to register for $200, this thing costs $40, so you can imagine there was not a whole lot of compliance, and it has a real following, and unfortunately they're very rare, but gun collectors really like them. So let's shoot some more. Missed. But those first targets are 17 yards away. This gun is not really designed for shots that far. It was initially marketed the auto and burglar, and that was, what it meant was it was for defense in your auto and at home, auto and burglar. And get out of here, horsefly. But they were real popular, and you know, back in the 20s, if you were in a vehicle that even had windows, the windows were likely down, so this would be real handy to have sitting across your lap or next to you in the seat. If someone came up, tried to rob you, you'd certainly thwart the robbery and end the conversation pretty quickly with something like this. And then at home, obviously, they were popular for defense as well. They came in mostly 20 gauge, but they came in 12, 20, 410, and 16 gauge. Total, in the 20s and 30s, there was about 4,000 of them made. And then all of a sudden, you're told, hey, that shotgun you paid $40 for, you now have to give the government $200 to keep it and register it. So I doubt there was much compliance. They had some amnesty periods later. They dropped that down to a $5 tax for these. So some made it into the NFA registry. They're pretty rare, and they're very expensive. I mean, they're north of $5,000 to buy an actual Ithaca auto and burglar. But like I said, I think you know, there is a real market for these, and you know, this bears an incredible resemblance. And obviously, this is chambered in 45 Colt. It has a rifled barrel. It is not a shotgun, but we'll shoot them in a minute. We can shoot 410 out of it. So. Keep messing with that second barrel. But like I said, sorry, I'm being careful with these 45 Colt shells because I reload them and those things are like gold. There's a lot of, well, first we're just going to shoot some regular 410, 7.5 shot. But we've got some defensive loads I picked up too, and these things are pretty evil. But let's try, we're going to go for that upper target with just a traditional, this is a 3-inch, 7.5 shot 410. So let's see how it prints on that target. That target is about 10, 11 yards away. Oh boy, look at the spread on that. Yeah, that thing's got quite a spread at that range. So if you're in your house and you use something like this from across the living room, your aim wouldn't have to be real good. So that's impressive. There's a 10-inch barrel, so that's a nice spread. Let's try some of these. This is going to be triple-aught buckshot. 5 pellets inside these. I'm going to go for the same upper target. I'll go for the steel. Man. There's some kick to that. And okay, we'll try these. These are some, they're Hornady Critical Defense. It's 2 .35 caliber balls and 1 .41 caliber slug. Now this is saying 750 feet per second, opposed to the triple-aught buck here, which is 1135, and I'm assuming that is probably out of a shotgun, longer 28-inch barrel or something like that. But still, there's a significant difference there, but I'm not sure that there's going to be a significant difference in recoil. But this time I will go for the lower target. Hopefully it stays on there. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I don't have a governor or a judge. So this is the first time I've ever really shot one of these 410 defensive loads. And of course the question always is it practical for defense? I think it would definitely work. You know, are there options today that are more practical? You know, there's a lot of bullpup shotguns and there's the Shockwave, things like that might be more practical, but you don't buy a gun like this because it's practical. You buy it because it is completely cool, because it is essentially, it's an auto and burglar, and you know, most guys would have to sell half their gun collection to buy something like this. But you know, this MSRP on this, they told me it was around 1850, somewhere in there. So, you know, whereas an actual Ithaca auto and burglar, you're going to pay every bit of north of $5,000. I guarantee you that. Plus $200 tax stamp to register it. So let's do a little more 410. And I'll go for the lower target. You know what? Let me try one more. I'm going to try one-handed Mad Maxing it. Because he walked around with a 12-gauge double barrel shooting that thing off. But let's see what 410 does, one-handed. It's kind of like a 44 mag on steroids, I guess. But there's some punch to that. But definitely a fun gun. And, you know, I did some non-scientific testing before we came out here. I had some 1x8s, and I just wanted to see how many the 45 Colt would go through it. It just almost went through 2 of them and stopped. And the triple-aught buck, excuse me, it actually went through 2 into the 3rd. So a little more. And then what really surprised me though, I ran just a 9mm 147 grade jacketed hollow point, and it stopped at about 1.5. I was really surprised at that. I mean, this isn't a scientific test, so don't go trade your 9mm in, but I was surprised how much penetration that triple-aught buck had out of a 410. So I would say yes, this could absolutely be a viable option for you for self-defense. There's probably better options out there nowadays, stuff with lights on them and everything else. But at the same time, you don't buy a gun like this because it's practical. You buy it because it's cool. Let's try one-handed with 45 Colt. Oh, yeah. Much more manageable. Well, again, I want to thank my friends for letting me borrow this and shoot it. I really appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for stopping by Ghost Gun Range.